And now theme song. And yes, we all sing along.
Sing it, Florida!
Welcome to Atop the Fourth Wall, where economics burn. Linkara's gonna teach you all a lesson you won't learn. Brodsky, you're not the smartest. Liefeld, you're not an artist. Anyone who's had a bad comic published, it could be your turn. Linkara, he is a man. Punch, where's Birdie at Linkara? He has a magic gun. Where did he purchase that? Linkara. Coins, robots, Amazon trucks, Linkara. This comic sucks, Linkara. I think we are ready to begin here, actually.
Play the home game, it's fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, we do the theme song afterwards because I played the episode and then you have to sing along to that.
Okay.
There is a process to this.
The magic of editing.
It's magic.
It's magic. I don't have to explain it.
Speaking of, I'm trying to find the right way to sit down as I'm doing this because.
Preferably on your ass, that generally helps.
By the way, if you don't know, Master the Creator, my title card artist, ladies and gentlemen.
That was better than yesterday's rules. I really like that. Thank you.
So, you all ready? Yeah! Alrighty, let's do this. Hello and welcome to Diary of Atop the Fourth Wall Live! If this is your first time seeing Atop the Fourth Wall in live or recorded form, just remember, you can beat me to death at the conclusion of the panel, but you can never hurt me like I've hurt you. As you have probably noticed, I am reading from a script, and I apologize in advance if I stutter or slur my words. Also, I know people can get very excited at these live shows and want to throw out their own commentary and jokes at the comic. I won't stop you, except for you, Al. But just remember that I am recording this, so if you're not funny, you're being not funny in front of thousands of people. Just like I am every week.
Oh.
And really, who wants that?
Nobody.
So here I am down in Florida, home of beaches and palm trees.
And old people.
And old people. It is the land of spring break, the land of fun in the sun, the land that enrages Nash every week on Radio Dead Air because people keep finding new objects to put into all their orifices. So naturally, I decided to pick out the most Florida comic I could find. A Godzilla comic. I won't insult your intelligences by explaining why this is perfect for Florida. I'm sure you all know why. As with so many franchises, Godzilla has had many comic incarnations. Today we have Godzilla, King of the Monsters #1 from Dark Horse. And as you can see, our cover is not very good. I get that he's destroyed a city, but we can't see much of the devastation, just water and collapsed buildings, which might actually be from all the water coming in. Godzilla himself looks okay, except for all that blood on his face. He's thirsty for blood! So, in this incarnation, Godzilla is a vampire? It's kind of overkill when he's already king of the monsters, isn't it? Let's talk about that blood on his face. For starters, Godzilla's not really known to eat people, especially not raw. I mean, he's got the thermonuclear breath. He prefers his meat well done. Gordon Ramsay approves. However, when you take a closer look, you realize that the blood is actually coming out his nose and his gums. Godzilla's not thirsty for blood. He's an anime character who's been looking at attractive women. Also, he has gingivitis. We open in Los Angeles, where Godzilla is blowing up a building with his thermonuclear breath. Here, Los Angeles, it's a little preview of what'll happen if the 2014 Godzilla film sucks.
Oh.
Yeah, it's coming in 2014.
Whoa. No!
Huh?
It looks awesome so far. We can see some cameramen filming the attack as a news anchor reports on what's happening. Could the king of the monsters cast a thermonuclear shadow over the land of sunshine? More on that after the weather, but first, entertainment news. But it turns out that we're being cheated out of the actual attack since we see that the image is in fact a simulation. Good evening, I'm Kate Koshiro, and this is Giant Eye. Okay, lady, your news program is called Giant Eye. Given the amount of creatures in the Godzilla universe, you're gonna have to be more specific if you're talking about looking at giant monsters, or if it's about a giant crawling eyeball that attacks people. Anyway, they're apparently discussing the looming threat of Godzilla arriving on the West Coast. I think what's really going on is that Godzilla caught a showing of the Muppet movie and now thinks that he can make it in Hollywood too. I would pay good money to see Godzilla sing and move it right along. Here to give us some insight on this dilemma is a member of the world-famous research team, G-Force. Ah yes, G-Force, that Disney movie about talking guinea pigs that saved the world. Truly, they are the best experts on Godzilla. The guy's name is Take, who has this to say. Hey, we have the same letters in our first name. Thanks for pointing that out, dude. It doesn't make you look creepy at all. Inside what I presume to be the G-Force headquarters, two people are watching the news broadcast. One of the first things he says on American TV, and has to be a silly pickup line. Still less embarrassing than Fox News. Is he wearing makeup? Well, yeah, news programs tend to do that. And if you mean he's wearing a different kind of makeup, I fail to see what the problem is unless he hasn't applied it evenly. Koshiro asks him just where the hell is Godzilla, and it turns out there was a zeroth issue before this one where they poisoned Godzilla and they hope he's dead, but they never found a body. You know, in fictional stories, if they never find a body, it's 100% certain that they're still alive. I like to think that this applies in the real world too. Amelia Earhart and Jimmy Hoffa are even now planning their big comeback tour together. Anyway, she wonders if certain recent events are evidence that Godzilla is coming. I hope they're unrelated, but if not, we'll be after him with the SSPBS. Ah yes, the Soviet Socialist Public Broadcasting System. Everyone knows Godzilla is repelled by communism. Or if that's not actually an acronym, how the hell do you say that? Tell us how they work. You don't want me to bore your viewers with technical mumbo-jumbo, do you? It works fine for Star Trek. Just tell us it involves multimodal reflection sorting. I'm sure you can make anything entertaining.
I didn't know.
In that case, can you start with Daniel Tosh? Actually, it turns out that the SSPBS stands for Subsonic Pulse Beacons. Subsonic is one word, it's not two, so the acronym fails already. Send out low-frequency signals we hope will attract and pacify Godzilla. Like soothing music like music soothing the savage beast. Very much so. Yeah, I hear Godzilla's a big fan of Blue Oyster Cult. Of course, in a pinch they can always play Don't Stop Believing, and that'll attract Godzilla towards the music. Oh, and it turns out that his creepiness is quite attractive to her, since she's flirting with him. I'm sure you had a hand in inventing it. Want to go play Godzilla and smash my pagoda? Once you get him on your leash, what will you do with him? Well, personally, I hear Charles Barkley is interested in a rematch with Godzilla for charity. The dude says they'll bring him into an island for study. So you came here hoping to snag the big one? The big one? Godzilla. Oh, yes, Godzilla, of course. That's the big one I came to snag. Godzilla is what he calls his penis. He didn't turn out to be the most inspiring G-Force representative we could have sent. Well, now we know who gets to be sacrificed to Godzilla first. The two get an urgent call. What? Where? When? Who? Why? Wherefore? Wimbledon! They spotted him, Kazushi! Godzilla! And boy, from the looks of it, he hates that cherry popsicle he was eating. Seriously, what is with all the blood around his mouth? Did he cut his face badly on some rocks and is only coming out of the ocean to see a reconstructive surgeon?
It is LA.
They send out a guy named Kino to go pick up Take from the TV studio in his little toy plane. This jet here. Yeah, seriously, the jet from Captain Planet that ran on good vibes was a more convincing aircraft than this. At the studio, the interview is wrapped up. I've brought shame to my colleagues. Don't be silly, you were perfect. You did just fine. Except for those 4 minutes where you didn't answer any questions and just stared at my chest while drooling. That's gonna get you fired. No, she says she loves hearing about G-Force stuff and, in fact, is asking him out to dinner. However, before he can answer, his communicator watch starts beeping. Huh? Oh no, it can't be! Damn it, Zordon, stop cock-blocking me! He says he'll take a rain check on it and that Godzilla has been spotted coming ashore in Canada. Oh, I get it now. Godzilla wants to take advantage of Canadian healthcare for whatever sickness is causing him to cough up blood. It all ties together. Actually, it seems we do finally have a reason for the blood. That poison they mentioned before is causing this, and the G-Force suspects that the Arctic waters slowed down the poison. Of course! Don't you know anything about science? G-Force gets a call from Colonel Cameron, who's pissed off that Godzilla's not dead like they thought he would be. It's taking effect. Godzilla's on his last legs. That's wonderful, Elter, except I don't want those last legs traipsing around any major metropolitan areas. Now maybe if you performed a little dance or something, I'd be okay with it, but no traipsing. G-Force tells the Colonel that their agents are en route with the pulse beacon and that they shouldn't try attacking him, since agitating him is just gonna make things worse. Agitate him? I got diplomats screaming in my ear about how Godzilla's heading directly for the newly constructed Fraser Dam. I don't know, I think we should just wait to give the sanctions some time and see if that deters Godzilla. That would have been much funnier if I hadn't stuttered there. No, it wouldn't have. Vancouver's about a stone's throw away from there, and once he hits America, it's a whole new set of headaches. I mean, screw Vancouver, this only gets serious when he hits America. However, the Colonel tells them they get the first shot but not to screw this up. What difference does it make? Godzilla is as good as dead. Dude, they killed Godzilla in the first damn movie, and he's still around making films over 50 years later. Don't tell me he's as good as dead. Godzilla starts stomping through some woods. You know, I brought up Captain Planet earlier, which was also the subject of my last live show. I'm just wondering what the hell the Planeteers would do for something like this. How exactly are you supposed to stop the Earth's own creatures from raising the forests? Or is it totally different because Godzilla can shoot thermonuclear breath? Just curious. Also, I love how it looks like he's kind of making a badass action pose for the camera. Still the best, 1973. A gajillion points if you got that reference. Subsequently, anyone who does get that reference, I know it doesn't refer to Godzilla, just to head off that comment I'm sure to get. So some jets approach Godzilla and ask permission to open fire. Well, naturally they say no, because we just had a scene where they said they weren't going to try opening fire on it. Oh wait, that's not it at all. They're told to open fire, which they do so, and piss off the dying giant monster. What the hell was the point of that last scene? Oh, and said attack makes Godzilla run into a bridge and destroy it. Good one, dumbasses. Maybe you want to shoot him into an even more populated area while you're at it. On board the anti-Godzilla toy plane, on board that, Take and Kino discuss the most important of subjects when people are in danger: Take's romantic life. Kino says that Take is being naive and that the reporter is only dating him to get him to be an inside source for her. Reporters doing ethically questionable things? I've never heard of such a thing! They approach Godzilla and get ready to use the beacon. We're cutting it damn close! Ha 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 ha! People have died! Take signals... I love the Takahata clap there. Take signals the Canadian Air Force to withdraw, and they do so. Godzilla's all yours. Hope you have better luck with him than we did. Over. Frankly, with how badly the Air Force botched it, the only way they could make it worse is if the sound waves actually made Godzilla spontaneously clone himself. Kino switches on the beacon. Play that sweet music. Here I am! Rock you like a hurricane! And it seems Godzilla is a fan of that song since it stops him in his tracks. The leader of G-Force orders them to lead him back along the path he came from. However, that changes quickly. Just a second, I'm getting a strange signal from the beacon. My God, it started playing One Direction songs instead! We're doomed!
On behalf of my country, I apologize for them.
And indeed, Godzilla hates modern boy bands and unleashes his thermonuclear breath on the ship. It only tags the wing, I guess you can call it, of the plane, and it goes down. The ship crashes, even losing the beacon in the process. Wow, so far G-Force's greatest triumph is scoring a date with a hot reporter. So, to make matters worse, Godzilla apparently decides that now is the time to stumble around like a drunken idiot and falls over into the dam, bursting it. And apparently there was a lot of grape juice on the bottom there, as I see a lot of purple at the bottom. The colonel calls them back to ask just what the hell happened, but the G-Force personnel don't have an explanation and are gonna go pick up the guys who crashed. With the threat to Vancouver now worse than ever, the colonel decides to deal with this his own way. How, you may ask? Through the use of his own weapon, Cybersaur. You've had your chance, now it's our turn. We use the robot. A giant robot fighting a giant monster? Who'd want to see that? Next you'll tell me it takes place in the Pacific Rim or something. I love that movie. We cut to North Dakota, the launch site for the Cybersaur. A guy there is talking to the colonel and saying that Cybersaur isn't ready to be deployed, that it needs at least another 2 months for fine-tuning. You ever notice how in fiction weapons have never been fully tested or they only have prototypes working? It's weird.
Really lazy.
Speaking of how unprepared they are, he says they need at least another 6 hours to fully charge the thing's batteries, and if they send it out now, it'll only be on backup power. What the hell were they doing with the batteries while they were building the damn thing? Did they accidentally leave it on all night or something? That's fun, though. What's it being used for? I'm sorry, sir, I must have heard you wrong. Sir, using Cybersaur to clean out your garage is a gross misuse of its capability. No, sir, I don't care how long your wife has been nagging you about it. Back over to Take and Kino. Kino wants to leave and figure out what the hell went wrong with the beacon. Personally, I think you guys just accidentally put the wrong mixtape into the thing. Give me the night vision scope. Wow, check out that night vision. It looks exactly the same as regular sight. Despite that, they find the beacon, but Kino forgot to bring any tools, and they need to carry it back to the ship. For the record, as you can see here, they climb down the side of a cliff to get to it. Good luck with that plan to carry it. Fortunately, they're rescued by Koshiro, who arrives in a news helicopter. While Kino works on the beacon, they fly over to Godzilla, who's being attacked by the army again, because that's worked out so well so far. Koshiro wants them to fly a little closer. Kate, you do realize there's a strictly enforced no-fly zone around Godzilla. Don't worry, if this is Godzilla's last stand, I have to get it on film. Ah, the inspiration for Cloverfield. When Kino examines the beacon, he finds some kind of chip that was planted inside of the thing's circuits, most likely to sabotage the beacon. My God, King Ghidorah has secret agents at G-Force! Dude has spies everywhere. Or possibly the RIAA installed an anti-piracy chip to prevent them from playing any music over the beacon. And let's face it, they're a more terrifying monster than Godzilla.
Amen.
Like an idiot, the helicopter flies right in front of Godzilla, who shoots a thermonuclear blast at them. Shock of all shocks. It narrowly misses them. Are you all right, Kate? Yeah, it's nothing serious. Occupational hazard, I suppose. What was that? What was that? Well, clearly it was just a standard atmospheric condition, possibly a low pressure system that moved in. What the hell do you think it was? And so our comic ends with them beholding something landing in front of Godzilla, which Take explains is a robot that G-Force and the United Nations created to fight Godzilla. And thus we see Cybersaur! Now, you're laughing, but my God, I actually think this thing looks freaking badass.
Is that Mega Ultra Chicken?
My God, it is Mega Ultra Chicken. Lasers all over, bright gold, tail blaster, big shoulder-mounted rockets. Thing even looks like it has sunglasses on. This thing knows how awesome it is. Anyway, this comic is actually pretty good. Its problems are more with that stuff that its problems are more that with stuff that happened in issue 0. This is technically the second comic and not the first. In addition, we don't really get to see Godzilla doing much damage or fighting Cybersaur. That being said, it's paced nicely, the art is decent, and there's nothing monumentally stupid going on. If anything, seeing Cybersaur at the end is a great way to entice you to get the next issue so you can see it in action. Oh, and spoilers, it does not disappoint in that regard.
Awesome.
Anyway, that's all I got for you, so thank you everybody. For the creator. So, question. Let's go. What were you, sir? Saka.
Okay. Would you ever review Saga?
Sorry.
Would you ever review Saga or?
Saga. I don't. What Saga again?
It's a comic book. It's by Image. It's about this whole war.
Oh, is that about the Iraq War thing with the lion? Or I think it's something else.
It's about a planet where people have wings, but in a war with planet where people have horns, and basically Romeo and Juliet story. Two people get married, have a child, and the whole comic is basically narrated by a child.
That sounds like My Little Pony.
What the hell? My Little Pony you've been watching? Maybe if I think it sucks, but I've never heard of it before. You know.
What do you think the worst comic you've ever reviewed is?
Oh, reviewed. There's a few on that. Cry for Justice, The Culling, The Warrior comics. On a purely technical level, probably The Warrior comics, just because nothing about them makes sense. Though Infuriating Bimbos in Time was up there. Or just on a personal level, Cry for Justice because of the death of Leanne. You met him.
I forgot if you mentioned before, why was Beast Boy red again?
Okay, in the New 52, there are these elements to them. Swamp Thing and all the plant life on the Earth is connected through this kind of metaphysical thing called the green, or it's kind of a life web for all plants. And now all animal life on Earth is now connected to each other through a life web they call the red. So they decided that Beast Boy, since he accesses different animals, he should be red instead of green. Or, in reality, they don't think the color green exists anymore in comics.
Well, it's no easy being green.
Yeah, it's just, I just think it's stupid because it makes no sense with Beast Boy's original origin. I don't know what his origin is in the revised continuity, but I'm sure it's dumber anyway. It's really sad. I love Beast Boy. I loved all these characters, and they just waste and ruin them. Beast Boy ended up on the frickin' Ravagers crap. Why would you name yourself after the people you escaped from? I don't get it. Anyway, you sir.
With the DC reboot 2 years ago, the Marvel, I guess, renumbering last year. And also the possible, I hear there's rumors that there might be an Archie reboot in the future, or renumbering or something.
Reboots for everybody.
When will this, do you think, will this ever stop? And if so, when?
I don't think they'll ever stop rebooting things. 'Cause I think actually some people in the industry have said that they should be rebooting things every 10 years in order to allow for a new audience. And I'm not entirely against the idea of rebooting for a new audience to do that. The problem is they're not rebooting for a new audience because all the new stuff is worse than the old stuff. So just reprint the old stuff then, because then you can catch the same interest. Or do more done-in-one stories instead of writing 6 issues for a trade. That's just going to piss people off. If you're going to do it for new audiences, do it for new audiences. Don't just do whatever the hell this has been. I'm so pissed off all the time.
Why do you think I draw you like that?
The Jared Scott player.
The number puzzle that 90s kid brought back from the future, have you seen anybody correctly guess the message or the answer to it?
Yes and no. One person has guessed it, but they don't realize that they've guessed it because they included it in a list of other things that they've been able to unscramble out of the words. I will tell you that the message does not pertain to this storyline. So don't worry, it has no secret messages about Nimue or anything, but it will come to fruition. It's a long-term thing, but you will be doing like that when you realize what it is.
The message was part of my plan.
My plan is great. You'll be our last question. Oh no, the other one next to you, the plaid shirt. You had your hand up. Oh, are you? I don't have my glasses on. I'm so sorry.
No, it's there. So you mentioned in one of the previous reviews some books and music you got thought were pretty good, and you mentioned the Green Lantern line.
Yes.
So do you have any kind of specific opinion on Green Lantern New Guardians?
Yeah, I enjoy Green Lantern New Guardians. Its direction is kind of all over the place, but the stories themselves are still well written. And they just introduced this new storyline with Relic, who's apparently from the previous universe. I don't know if they mean the actual previous universe in the DCU or just the previous universe, quote unquote. There came a time when the old gods died. But anyway, that's all we've got. So thank you everybody for coming out here and supporting live panels.